Chuck, who will tell us about his projects.
Hi there. My name is Chuck, and I'm an organic farmer, and I'm going to read from cards. I've been farming for about 9 years in Shiga, rural Shiga, and I combine Japanese techniques and modern organic techniques to make wonderful vegetables in the mountains of such a beautiful area in Japan. I produce about 3 seasons of vegetables because the snows are so heavy, I can't produce in the winter. And I start in about May getting vegetables, and I finish in about mid-December. And through my techniques, I've been able to farm about 1 month longer than everybody else in the valley. Surrounding my farm, there's life and death struggles all the time. And it's very beneficial for a farmer to have a balanced ecosystem with a lot of different animals and plants and things going on. It strengthens the farm. It strengthens the output. The river system is very important to the valley. The animals, the birds, the insects, the fish, everything works together. And it's a great place for recreation as well. And we try to stay in balance with the farm because we don't use chemicals. There's no runoff. So we use the water from the rivers to water our farms. We also have events that we have people from the city up, from Osaka, from Kyoto, to come up to do camping, hiking, barbecues, photo events, kids events, things like that, to try to revitalize the community. A lot of rural areas in Japan are suffering, so we're trying to do our best to build them up. These are the campgrounds we use for our events. They're beautiful, absolutely stupendous, and they're empty. Nobody's using them. Why? So I've come in and I'm trying to take over and make an ecological center in one and make a farming center in another, just to try to build up Japan. These snow events are very, very popular, especially for kids. I have a 6-year-old son and he's in these pictures. And the people who come up for the snow events, they build snowmen, they build igloos, they have snowball fights, and then they have lunch around a camp stove, and then they go out and they go sledding, and you have to call them in because they just love it so much. Sorry, boring statistics like the number of farms in Japan, the self-sufficiency in Japan is less than 40% now, which means of everybody here, 60% or more of the calories you consume are imported, which is terrible, which is really bad. The number of farms in the past 10 years has decreased by 30%. The number of corporate farms has increased by 240%. Corporate farms, in case you don't know, use chemicals, like Monsanto. So, I'm hoping to prevent this. The worst statistic is 65% of the farmers in Japan right now are 65 years old or over, which means very soon they will retire, the number of empty farms will go up, the number of corporate farms will increase, and most of what we eat will be chemically farmed. Most of our nature will be gone because they pollute the system. So I've set up my company, Midori Farm. Together we're going to try to take these campgrounds, these fields, these unused resources, and create something stronger, something better, something healthier for everybody. To make vegetables, to make events, to make a better life for everybody. One of the things I do is composting. Composting is very easy. People do it with kitchen scraps. I do it with mainly leaves from the city. I go to parks where they collect leaves and just throw them away like they're going to be burned in the clean center. And I compost them with sustainable cow manure and shredding them and using Western techniques to make beautiful soil. I also build raised beds. These raised beds allow me to farm 1 month longer than anybody else in my village. They drain better, I fill them with my compost, they create wonderful vegetables, and there's no pesticides needed for keeping the weeds down and the insects down. I also use floating row covers. Floating row covers are very popular in Japan, even with corporate farms. They're great. Even corporate farms can reduce their amount of pesticides and herbicides because they keep out the seeds and the insects that otherwise attack their plants. A very good system, a very, very strong system. I support it very much. I market my vegetables around Kyoto City as best I can to my friends, to my to some cafes, but 60% of my vegetables are eaten by monkeys. So a restaurant cannot depend upon me to always have a source of vegetables. So I'm looking for other avenues of support. Volunteers is one of my main avenues of support. People come onto my farm, they help me out. Organic farming is very labor intensive. And because of that, these volunteers can learn about farming and help the system to help everything out. It's a great way for all these smiles to mean something. But again, it's these monkeys that do so much damage. They come onto the farm, they get over my fences, and they eat all my vegetables that I've worked all year to produce 3 months, and they take them all. It's gutting, it's horrible, it's terrible. So I've tried different fencing techniques. I'm not a professional fence builder, but I do my best. And what I'm trying to do is build a crowdfunding campaign so that I can make the electric fences that all the locals have who have the money to build them. And so if I can do this, maybe I can make a model that other people can follow. The United Nations itself has put out a report saying we need to support these small local farmers, not only because they produce food, but because they protect the environment. They protect the water that we drink. They protect the lands that we inhabit. And they are our future. So if you really want to do something, every day you make a choice. Every single day, what you eat, who you buy from. Buy local, buy small, buy organic. That's the future. If you really want a healthy life, please join us. Thank you.
Please stay here. Great presentation. And
I gotta go back to the farm.
And you were worrying about doing your presentation. Do we have a question for Chuck? Yes.
I would like to go on your farm. And by the way, there's a lot of farms in Japan. Why do you choose Shiga?
Actually, there are not a lot of farms in Japan. And there are very, very few organic farms in Japan. And there are very, 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 very few organic farms that people can visit and learn about organic farming and participate. I chose Shiga because I love the area. I have friends there. They recommended me to a farmer who was too old to farm his lands. He said, please, Chuck, please, you can use this land. He worked his whole life to farm the land, and he was so happy to have somebody to work it. And then more farmers invited me, and that's why I chose Shiga. And you're always welcome. There's flyers near the door.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much, Chuck.